What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video I am bringing you guys day 4 in my collection series. And yeah, today I'm gonna be bringing you guys my foundations and concealers. So I wanted to do my base products together. If you were interested in this face look situation, I did record it. It is going to be coming up later on in this month, and it's going to be a full face, well, not full face, but it's going to be a face of first impressions. So yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing either that or my collection series, then just keep watching. Alrighty guys, so now you guys can see my foundation collection is right here. Like I said, I have done a previous video of this collection, but I have been accruing a good amount of foundations lately, so I just wanted to go ahead and update you guys. And actually I have a bunch on my desk per usual, so let me go get those. Something that just dawned on me, that basket that you can see right there also has products that I've already talked about this week. So since I didn't talk about them with any of my other categories, I'm not going to talk about them with this category. And yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys that heads up. Okay, so a foundation that I'm actually wearing today is the Revolution Pro F14 foundation, and this is the Conceal and Defined foundation. Like I said, this is the first time, well, I said I was wearing this foundation today. Today is the first time that I'm wearing this foundation, so I don't really have an opinion on this baby yet, but I did just want to let you guys know that I have it in my collection. Next, what was on my desk was another foundation that I've been looking at slowly. And this is the Full Spectrum Matte. Come on. This is the Full Spectrum Matte Ambition foundation. I have worn this multiple days, long hours. I've worn it with a brush, with a sponge. I've done some testing. As you can see, I've definitely gotten some wear, already seeing some side pan, and I will be bringing you guys a full-on dedicated review for this baby. Long story short, I think it's nice. I don't think it's the most long-lasting foundation, and honestly, this reminds me a disturbing amount like the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir foundation, and they are both made by CoverGirl. I haven't looked at the ingredients, so that's something that I'll look more into when it comes to the review. The Ambition, the Matte Ambition, I have it in deep neutral, and the CoverGirl Healthy Elixir, I have it in soft sable. This foundation right here is one of my favorites. I've already been through a whole foundation, and this is my repurchase. I repurchased it in December with all of my points because this December is my birthday month, so I decided to use all of my Ulta points this month. Something that I went ahead and purchased with a friend was my Correct Shade in the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter foundation. This one is in the shade 440, and this is my perfect shade. So yeah, actually I'm gonna stack them over here. Okay, next is another repurchase, and this is the Revlon Color Stay foundation. I went down in the shade because when I had this before, I overestimated my depth of my skin complexion, and so it was too dark for me, so I went with 410. I'm hoping that it's gonna work. Cappuccino is one of those typical shade names that works for me, and just looking at it compared to all the other bottles, it does look like it's gonna work. I have not tested this shade out, but since I know I like the formula, I just went ahead and put it in my collection. Okay, next is the NYX Total Control drops. I got this sometime last year and I loved it. It has very skin-like finish, but it also wears a decent length on my skin. I have this one in the shade Mocha, and yeah, I really do like this foundation. I will look into potentially panning this baby in the year 2019, not because it's a bad foundation, but just because I have a lot of foundations. I'm getting more into testing out more foundations every so often. So yeah, I might pan this. We will see. Next is a dusty one, and it is the Bare Minerals Matte Foundation. I have this in the shade Deepest Deep 30. I don't really like this foundation. It's okay. I think it might be the brush that I'm using, maybe even the primer, the way I'm wearing it. So I'm gonna kind of look on some reviews to see how they use it and see if I can wear it that way. If not, I might just donate it, find a friend, something. I don't know. Okay, this is two of the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation. I was just interested in this foundation, so I went ahead and got two sample size cards. So I was hoping that potentially I could use these. I might actually take these on my trip that you guys, well, that I'll be on while you guys are watching this, because taking things like this is really nice, because I mean, you use it once, you don't have to worry about it, you know. So we'll see. I might just keep it here and maybe do like a full face of samples or something crazy like that. Next is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. This is one of the oldest foundations in my collection currently, and it is in Rich Chestnut 5C1. This is too light for my complexion even in the winter, but you can see that I did get a good amount of wear out of this baby. Like I said, this is one of my oldest foundations, and at the time when I got this, I had a lot of acne, a lot of hyperpigmentation that I wanted to cover, and this is a full coverage baby, and it also is really matte, so that helped as well. I no longer need that much coverage. I like more of a medium satin natural finish, so this is not my cup of tea. So what I generally do, I will actually mix this in to like a more dewy foundation to get myself the more satin natural looking, and then this also can lighten up foundations as well. Actually, the one that I've been pairing this with the most is my other Fenty Beauty foundation, and this one is in 470. So I actually will pair these two together and to get my perfect shade for whatever season it is. And because this one's so dark, that's why I haven't gotten much wear out of it. But the other one, I apparently, nobody told me I was looking ashy for a whole, I don't know how long. So yeah, I will definitely be getting through this baby in 2019. I don't want to carry this into another year. So yeah. Next is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. I have this one in Mocha. When I tested this out, this was too light for me. I'm hoping it'll actually work for me now that I'm in the winter. If not, it'll just become my new mixing foundation, just like the Estee Lauder. But I do like this foundation. It's not my favorite by any means, but it is a nice foundation, nice everyday foundation, no fuss, no muss. And those are the types that I really do gravitate towards for a majority of the year. So pretty decent foundation, crappy shade range, terrible shade range. Alrighty, so this is my Bare Minerals Made to Perfect foundation. This is basically a custom foundation for my complexion, and as you can see, I got through a lot of it when I first purchased it, or when I first got sent it, because I did not purchase this, I got sent it, and I haven't touched it just because I've been going through so many other foundations. I really do enjoy this one, and I want to get my use out of it, so I will be getting some more use out of this baby in 2019. Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. This is one of my favorite foundations that I currently have in my collection. This is the Dior Backstage foundation in 6N. Yeah, perfect. This is a beautiful foundation, wears beautifully on my complexion, almost a dead on match, pretty dead on, and I really enjoy this foundation. Like, extremely enjoy this foundation. I went through 2 samples and then I was like, sis, you need to just go ahead and purchase it. So I did. And I believe I've actually used this even before I finished the last sample that I have, but I will be bringing that sample to Alaska with me, so it's all good. So yeah, I really do enjoy this foundation and I would recommend this one highly. All right, since that one wanted to fall, this is the Sephora 10-hour wear protection foundation, and this one is in the shade Deep. This is a good foundation. I like it. No fuss, no muss. Yeah, I mean, it's not something that I would rave about. It's not something that I would say, oh, this is terrible. I like it. It's good. Keep it pushing. Next is the Becca Skin Love Weightless Blur Foundation, and I have this one in the shade Espresso. I like this foundation. I don't see any blurring properties, but that just might be me. Honestly, I don't really pay attention that closely when it comes to the blurringness. That's just not something that I do. I do like this formula, and this is a pretty dead on match to my skin tone as well. And yeah, it's good. I like it. I'll use it. Another sample that I've been hoarding is the Makeup Forever HD Another sample that I've been hoarding is the Makeup Forever HD foundation. I am the shade Y505, and I already know that because I already have a sample that I need to finish, but I have been procrastinating on purchasing this. I don't know why. I purchased everything else under the sun, but yeah, so I got this so I wouldn't purchase the full size. So yeah, procrastination at its best. Next is another foundation that I have really grown to love. This is the Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation, and I have it in 4.3. This is pretty much a dead-on match to my skin complexion, and I really do enjoy this foundation. This is a very medium coverage foundation. No fuss, no muss. Definitely an easy everyday wear, and it does last for a long time. I really do enjoy this baby, and I would recommend it if you were interested. Okay, next is the BH Cosmetics BH Liquid Foundation Naturally Flawless. I am not a huge fan of this foundation at all. I did get a good amount of wear when I was testing it out, just because, I mean, I wanted to test it out, so you have to wear it a good amount of times. But I'm not a huge fan of this foundation. I will keep it in my collection because you can always mix it in with something else that might be a little too dewy, might be a little too matte. This might be another good mixing foundation to get rid of my Estee Lauder, but currently I'm not a huge fan of this baby right here. Next is a foundation I have already reviewed. I actually reviewed this last year. I believe this is one of my first foundation reviews. This was for the Hue Noir True Hues Flawless Matte Finish Foundation. I really like this foundation. It definitely was not my favorite when I was doing these comparisons. The one that I'll be talking about next was definitely my favorite, but this really is a good foundation. I got this one in Chestnut 081. And just to let you guys know, this is found in Target, and I actually contacted the brand to get samples sent to me. They sent it no problem, and it really did help me to choose which foundation shade worked for me. So if you're interested in this foundation and you don't want to just go ahead pick everything under the sun, definitely contact them to get some samples. And then the foundation that I actually preferred between these two was the Reset Liquid Matte Foundation from Haley's. I really enjoy this foundation. It's a really nice soft matte foundation, and I think it wears better and just overall feels better on my skin than the Hue Noir, but that's not saying that I don't like both of them. I do enjoy them both for different reasons, but longer wear, I would use this one, and you know, just whenever I would use the other one. So still two good foundations. Next is another really high up there foundation I have grown to adore. This is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in Cocoa. I love this foundation. This baby is a beautiful medium coverage with like a very soft matte, more soft matte neutral, soft matte natural skin like finish, and it wears beautifully on my skin, like beautifully. And I didn't say this at the beginning, I apologize. I am combination oily or combination oily and dry. So I have oily in my T-zone and I am dry to normal on the out perimeters, and this foundation works when I'm dry and when I am normal on the outside. So I really do enjoy this one. Next is the BB cream. I tend to really like to have at least one BB cream in my collection. I think that's something that I will no longer bring into the next coming year, and I think I will go ahead and pan this foundation or this BB cream. I don't like this BB cream. I don't like it at all. I feel like it's oily. I don't like it. I would not recommend it. Honestly, I have not found a BB cream that I like for my skin type. I hear a lot of people loving the It Cosmetics BB cream. I'm not a huge fan of them, to be honest. I don't think I have anything from them in my line. I do. I have like a brush or two. So maybe I'll try them. But as of right now, it's a no for me, dog. So I will be panning this year. Next is a foundation that needs no introduction at all. This is the NARS Sheer Glow in Trinidad, right? Yep, Trinidad. This baby is beautiful. This was one of my earlier purchases in foundations. I got this one and the Estee Lauder around the same time. This one does not have a pump, which is why I got through my Estee Lauder so much faster, because it had a pump. But whoa baby, will I be taking that pump off that Estee Lauder and sticking it right onto this one. I love this foundation. Love it, love it, love it. It has the perfect undertone, perfect shade match for me. I need a pump on this, and I'm too cheap to buy a pump. So yeah, I am really happy with this. Okay, all right, we're almost done. And this is the last foundation that I have to talk about. I did do a review on this, and this is the Revolution Pro F14. Oh, I should have known I was F14. I have this, duh. I did a full review on Revolution Pro when they first released. I did a whole review. I purchased for a full face and everything, and I said that I did like this foundation. I do like it. Honestly, I have not reached for it since I did that review, which says that I like it, but I still don't love it. And this will probably be another foundation that I go ahead and just rotate out of my collection, because I don't reach for it, and why keep something if you're not going to reach for it? So yeah, those are all my foundations. Now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put all of these back. We're going to move over to this area where I hold all of my concealers. So just give me 1 second. Alrighty guys, so the first foundation that I wanted to talk about, why am I not focusing? Alrighty guys, so this foundation here is the Healthy foundation from Physicians Formula. I have this in DN3. As you can see, it's way too light for me, so I actually use this as a concealer. I am currently panning this. I have no idea how long it's going to take me to finish this, because as you can see, there's no real like pan in sight, and I'm still getting a decent amount of product on the applicator. I'm so over this though, so I might end up actually just throwing this away. Now I might actually do that. I don't know. I haven't decided. So I did that just to say, because it is a foundation, but I technically use it as a concealer. And I house all of my concealers in here in a really small tray. Oh, there's one other concealer that I don't have. Let me get that. Okay, so the other concealer that I didn't have is this Bare Minerals Bare Pro Concealer in, what is this in? Deep Neutral 15. This was sent to me through Influencer, and they sent it to me actually right after I got the custom foundation sent to me. And this is how much product I have left. I have been using this in conjunction with the Healthy Elixir foundation to deepen up that concealer so that it doesn't look too light under my under eyes. I do like this now. I definitely did not like it when I got the product originally, but I've learned to use this and like it for what it is. But I wouldn't purchase this myself. I'll put it to you that way, because I don't spot conceal. I just kind of go with the flaws and keep it pushing. So like I said, I house all of my concealers in here that are not in current rotation. Some of these are opened. Actually, a good amount of these are opened. This is a new one that I have not opened, and I didn't open it because I have too many open and I don't want to use it right now, but I did want to purchase it. This is the Kylie Jenner Concealer in Almond. Yeah, almond. So it looks like the type of shade that I would enjoy. I believe this has more of a golden undertone, and that's not a typical undertone that I like to get. So that would be the only reason I wouldn't like this. But from what I hear, a lot of people love this concealer. I cannot tell you guys because I have not opened this one. Okay. Next is actually another concealer. I have not opened this one either. This is the Better Skin Maybelline Better Skin Concealer in Medium Deep. I don't know why I purchased this. I was just interested. I think I actually got this month, this month being December, and I've been purchasing a lot with my points. So I think I purchased this because I've always been interested in it and I just never wanted to use my money. So that's why I think this is in my collection. As soon as I do test it out, I will let you guys know. Next is a concealer that I had to get because everybody was raving about it. This is the First Aid Beauty Bendy Avocado Concealer. This is beautiful. Beautiful. It feels so nice on your under eyes. It has like a cooling sensation. I don't know if that's like supposed to be there or not. All I know is I really enjoy this concealer. It's definitely medium coverage, and this is not too light of a shade for me and the way I like to highlight, so I do enjoy this one. And this one is open, so this one will be getting used soon. Next, I don't think this one is open. This is my Wet n Wild concealer. I already panned a whole one 2 years ago now, and I just wanted to get another one in my collection. This at one point was my holy grail drugstore concealer because this was the only one that I could find to work. I have these two and I'm interested in trying the ColourPop one, so this one might be dethroned, but as of right now, this is the only drugstore concealer that I enjoy. Next is my holy grail concealer, period, and this is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer, and this one is in Dark Warm. Like I said, I typically don't like warm undertones for my concealer, but I make it work based on my powder and based on my foundation. It just works. I just really love the formula and the shade, not necessarily the undertone. So because that, I do make it work. This is more of a medium coverage, but very moisturizing for your under eye. Same with the Bendy Avocado. I'm sorry, I didn't say that, but these are both moisturizing concealers, and I really do enjoy moisturizing concealers under my under eye. Hence why you will not see the Tarte Shape Tape in my collection at all. Next is another concealer I really enjoy. This one is opened, and this is the first one I have of it. It's the Sephora Gel Serum Bright Future concealer, and this one is in the shade 16. I might have to go ahead and get a backup of this because this has been on sale for a really long time, and I'm concerned that they're trying to phase this out, and I really enjoy this concealer. This is a really nice concealer. I want to say it's only $7, so I might get a couple of backups just to have, just in case they do discontinue this. But this is a really good concealer, and I would recommend it. Not the best shade range at all, but this one happens to be the type of shade that I like, so it works for me. And then the last concealer that I have to talk about is the Born This Way Ethereal Concealer. I have no idea if I've opened this. Let me see. No, I haven't opened this baby either. This was another purchase that I made in December, purchasing a bunch of things that I was interested in, always wanted to try. And this was another concealer that I've always wanted to try. Like I said, I love the Born This Way foundation. Like I said, this one is in cocoa and this one is in dark, so you can see, oops, sorry, you can see the difference in the shade, and I do like a decent difference to really get a nice highlighted look, because generally I'll darken up my under eyes, as weird as that sounds, throughout my powder process. So yeah, a lot of these concealers are not open. So currently I have this foundation, the Bare Minerals, the Sephora, the Bendy. Those are all the concealers that I have open, which means I will be going through all of those next. So as soon as I finish this Healthy Elixir, then I'll be bringing in one of these two concealers to finish them up. And that's kind of how I like to do concealers. I use them like mascara. I use one till it's done, then I go to the next one. I'm not that person that has a bunch of concealers open, and honestly, this is about the array and the amount of concealers that I like to have in my collection. I don't need more than 6. It fits perfectly in this little cubby. And yeah, so that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video talking about my foundations and my concealers. I think next we're gonna start getting into my palettes, and that's gonna be a big honka. Actually, no, let me just throw this in here right now, because otherwise I don't think I'll talk about it. And that is my primers. So I have a good amount of primers, both eyeshadow and face. So let us talk about those, and then we for real will be done. I have some more primers. So okay, so something that I'm using as an eyeshadow primer currently is my NYX Milk Pencil and Milk, whatever. I am actually putting this in a project pan currently, so hopefully I finish it before 2019, but since I'm recording this in 2018, that's why you guys can see it. Okay, next in my desk, I always have my NYX glitter glue. This is the only glitter glue I have. I just can't be bothered to spend actual money on a glitter glue. This was already pushing it for me. I do like it. I don't use it very often, as you can see, but I like having it in my collection. I like having it on my desk for the times that I do need it. The primer that I've been using mainly since I got into makeup is this Smashbox 24-hour photo finish, yeah, shadow primer. Now, when it comes to eyeshadow primers, this has taught me that you really don't need very many. I have had this going on, I want to say 3 years, and I still haven't finished it. And yeah, so I honestly, if you find one eyeshadow primer that you like, stick with it. Don't buy any others unless you want some that are like your skin tone, some that are clear, stuff like that. But other than that, you don't need very many primers, and this is evident of it because I've had this for 3 years and I'm like halfway. So yeah. Okay, now we're getting to the primers that I had in this section. I had a couple more eyeshadow primers. This one is the Urban Decay primer potion. This is the original. I got this after demolishing a sample that I was given, and I really realized that I love this formula. I love it. I actually am interested in getting the caffeine shade. We'll see if I get it, but I really do enjoy this formula and I would recommend it. It's a lot stickier in a good way, oops, than my photo finish primer. This is like an everyday, no fuss, no muss. This is like you want that shadow to set and really, and of course as soon as I finished that, my camera stopped recording. So the next eyeshadow primer that I have is this You Can Be eyeshadow primer. I was gifted this and I guess PR from Melanin Complex, and this is a decent primer. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, I wouldn't say it's the worst, but it is a good primer, and in the event that I need a primer and I can't find my other ones, I would get this, but this is definitely not going to be the first one that I reach for. No, just being honest. Next is something that isn't really a primer, but I used it as one, so I just keep it in this section. This is a Main Magic 10-in-1 primer. Apparently this is for your hair. I got this in some form of box, but I saw primer, so I put it on my face and I didn't break out, so hey, it kind of works. So I haven't used it since. I just like tested it out and was like, hey, it works on my face. But yeah, this is something I have. If I ever need something and I'm in a bind, I guess I can reach for this. Next, I have a couple samples of this baby. I am interested in it, but I don't want to pay for it, so that's why it's in here. Ooh, child, let me get this chair. Your girl is getting old in these streets. Okay, so this is the Too Faced Hangover RX primer. This is a very nice, no fuss, no muss primer, and it is very moisturizing. So if you are more combination dry or just dry overall, I would recommend this. It's really nice and it gives like a cooling sensation when you put it on your face. Very nice primer. Next is a primer that I purchased because I heard it was a dupe for the Hourglass Vanish primer. I don't know what it's called. I do like this primer. I don't reach for it very often just because I'm actually trying to pan primers currently. So that's why I haven't actually been rotating through my primers. But if I was, I would be reaching for this because this is a really good drugstore primer. Or just primer in general as well, of course. This is my favorite primer though. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish foundation primer. I have never had the full size, but I haven't needed to. Like I said, primers really last a long time. You really don't need a full size. Using this, I've had this for, I want to say a year, and I haven't even broken, like I've made a dent, but I haven't really made a dent. So I'm really happy that I got this somehow. Whatever way I got it, I'm happy I got it because this is my favorite primer. Next is a primer that I picked up at TJ Maxx, and honestly I still haven't tried, or if I've tried it once. This is a hydrating primer. I purchased this when my outside of my skin was very dry. I was having problems getting that section together, and this was really helping me. Like I said, I think I might have used it once or twice at that point, but like I had gotten this towards the end of that, and it was, yeah. So from what I can remember, decent primer, but I have not reached for this at all in a really long time. Next is another primer that I got because I found it at TJ Maxx, and then I know I haven't touched this, like not at all. This is the Illuminating Perfecting Primer from Estee Lauder. You know what I might do? I think I'm gonna use this whenever I use my Estee Lauder Double Wear because that foundation is too matte for me, and this might balance that out. That is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get use out of 2 of my Estee Lauder products in one. Good job. So yeah, I haven't tried this, so when I try it, I will let you guys know. Then I have some MAC samples of Prep and Prime Natural Radiance Base and Skin Base. Never tried these, can't tell you guys how it is. They're primer samples and they're in the bottom of this little thing that I hold all my primers in, so I just honestly forgot that I even had these. And then the last primer that I have in my collection is this baby right here. This is the Tatcha the Silk Canvas. I got this in the holiday kit this year. Now I have not touched this one in particular, but I did have a sample before. I did enjoy that sample, and so I wanted to go ahead and purchase the kit to get not only this but 2 other products from Tatcha. Like I said, I haven't touched this one, but the sample that I did have, I did enjoy, and based on that sample, I would recommend it. But it's not going to be the end all be all primer. It's a really nice combination primer. I've been really learning to like use multiple primers in the same time, and you really get the most out of a primer that you can, you know? But yeah, I think that's all I have for real this time. You guys have seen my complete foundation, concealer, and primer collections. Next I will be probably going into either lips or palettes, because that's basically all I have left. You guys can't really tell me what you want to do. I probably will do lips because I want to just go ahead and get that out of the way in one long video. And then I don't know, we'll see, because everything else that I have left is just long. So we will see how I will be getting these done, but they will be getting done. So as always, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and it has been real. Bye bye. So when I went to go put back those eyeshadow primers, I realized, being the genius and the old person that I am, I did not talk about these 2 primers. So these are the 2 primers that I'm actually currently trying to pan and finish. So this is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Base Mattifying Primer, and this is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Base Smoothing Primer. Now these are both okay primers. This one in particular, I feel as though dries out my skin a little bit too much, and I have learned that I do not like primers that dry out my skin. That's why I finished the Becca Evermatte and never purchased it again, and that's what I will be doing with this one. This one is just a really good primer to go along with this step 1. I don't necessarily love this primer, but I don't necessarily hate this one. So these are just 2 primers that I want to get out of my collection. They are my oldest 2 base primers, so I feel as though they should be on their way out the door. And that's why I'm doing a mini project pan in my own personal life with these. So yeah, okay. I'm really in. Bye. Gone. Bye.